And we're live. Hey.
I said, let's try that again. I don't know what happened just now.
Lisa, are you there, Lisa? Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning.
Okay, wonderful. I think I got so excited, I collapsed the wave and disappeared.
She collapsed us all. I'm like, Lisa, come back.
Right. Okay. Let's try that again for recording purposes. Hey, let's turn that real quick. Here we go. All right, fill in. For those of you who are tuning in for are we on episode 6, 7, 6?
6, I think. Yes.
6. Episode 6. Question: is it our first episode since 2019?
Nope.
Okay.
It's not.
All right.
I don't think it is.
We are second episode in. And welcome you all to the Spirit of Business mini course. And this is an episode of what we have been doing. So do know that we have been having fun and been really transparent. And if you're new to us, say hi, say hello, jump in the chat box. And Ra, where are we today?
So today, Lisa, so let's just talk about where we have gone on this journey so far.
Right.
So we have talked about training your pain. Each one of us kind of we shared some of our pain experiences, some of our most vulnerable experiences. Let's really drive home the importance of having this level of vulnerability with yourself when you are taking yourself to that next level, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've done train your pain. We have done, oh my goodness, I am losing. Well, regardless of that, today we're talking about your season limitation.
No, let me jump in with you.
Okay.
I was sipping tea and I'm like waking up, you guys. I did just roll out of bed and and I was sharing with Ra how I'm not being a effort whore. Is that what we talked about the last time? Because that whole mentality of people trying to grind harder instead of working in synchronicity and in alignment with your magical self. There's a difference. We talked about amateur trending, which we'll also discuss more in the course, the Spirit of Business mini course. And we talked about haterade, right? Using that for fuel. And it's so funny that people have different philosophies, but however, it brings us back full circle to say that even though you're feeling like, no, I'm not using my hater energy or my haters to fuel myself or drive myself, I share with Ra the scientific, the scientific fact behind energy, right? So Ra and I talked about offline how a plant takes carbon dioxide and takes that negative that's bad and turns it into oxygen. It uses it as fuel during photosynthesis and is creating life. That's what we are breathing, right? It's the plant that is taking that garbage from plants, from animals and humans, and through photosynthesis, creating, it's fueling it for life. So
absolutely. And so the thing that I want us all to get into the habit of seeing ourselves as is that we are magicians, okay? None of this is just happening to us every day, every second of every minute of every hour of every day. We are creating and contributing to this reality that we create. And so if you can see yourself as the magician and you know that the magician's job is to alchemize, is to turn something completely useless into gold, then you can see why we talk so much about training your pain and about using your haters for fuel and even about your season of limitation, because we have to get into the mindset and get into the practice of knowing that we are here to take the seemingly useless and turn it into gold. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the season of limitation, because I think entrepreneurship gets such a crazy rap in that people think that one day you decide, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to put this vision out there. And then the next day, everything is going to fall into place. And voila, I am successful. Or voila, I'm automatically going to be operating in alignment with these new goals and these new desires. And it just doesn't work that way. Lisa, you and I have both had experiences, not just experiences, but entire seasons of limitation, of pullback, of drawback, of like, what the hell is going on?
Right. Yes.
And so I think it's important to talk about why those seasons show up. And it's also important to talk about what you do to get yourself out of that. Okay. Yes.
Ooh,
so
pen and paper, get your tea, get your snacks. I think this is going to be a gem right here. This is going to be an absolute gem, because oftentimes the question that I get when people are asking and reflecting on, well, I'm there right now, how do I get out of it, right? People are trying to figure out, how do I get out of it? How do I do the unstuck? And shout out to those of you who actually are sharing that one simple post I did. It's so funny. I mean, I see a lot of stuff get shared, but I had this little moment where I was celebrating, like, oh, people are actually paying attention. And it was an action tip. That action tip that was shared about removing the word trying from your vocabulary. And I said, you're either doing it or you're not. And that actually was born for me. And someone actually said that was a great Yoda quote. I didn't know. That came from a space, it's twofold. Innately for me, which sometimes leads to my frustration. If I think something and I'm not doing it, I don't see any action behind it, I get frustrated. That also was born out of that season of limitation, because as I shared with Ra, and for those of you who have been connected with me for some time, you know that my journey has not been this cookie cutter rainbows and butterflies, which is why when we started this Spirit of Business course, it was identifying that, like Ross said, this whole entrepreneur thing, that it's so pretty and it's like, you know, road to financial freedom. It's okay if this is not you. It really is, because everyone has a role, everyone has a place, but also what we are learning right now through this whole partial government shutdown is the importance of multiple streams of income. And you may not want to go wholeheartedly full-time entrepreneurship, but even being a co-creator you are an entrepreneur as a co-creator. So as I was sharing with the unstuck, that journey for me was crying, some more crying.
Yes.
and saying, and the crying part is very cathartic. And I'm sharing this while I'm speaking, you guys. So allow my train of thoughts, because I shouldn't be doing this. But if you are on, be sure to tag someone, share, and let them know what we're doing today. It is the cathartic part, is the crying. Ra said that, Ra was, as I shared with her about laying, I remember this, and the crying came out of getting the call. I got the call. That's my destiny card was pulled when I decided that I was going to follow this wild idea concept. I almost feel like I probably will incorporate that in my section, the wild idea concept, because that's where your money is. That wild idea where you feel like, note to self, I'm writing this down, wild idea concept. That's where your money is because you start to feel like, well, that's, it feels weird. You're connecting all these words to it that doesn't feel natural. Why? Because it's so wild. My wild idea was teach kids real estate. Wild.
What?
What do you
Crazy.
mean teach kids? They can't buy. They can't is all I heard.
Mm-hmm.
And so that made me feel like, wow, it's just going to be me in here then talking about, let's do this. And I was okay with that. But guess what? When I put it out there in the universe, I'm in California, someone from Philadelphia called me.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, sis, we need that. Our kids need that over here. The lesson that I learned right in that moment, when we are thinking and creating something, and that lesson of limitation, because I was limited in thinking, here, Cali.
Right. Right.
Here, Cali. Let me say this. I love Cali. I'm LA super agent. They were the last one to get on board.
Huh.
I done traveled Philly, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Texas. Cali, the last one to get on board.
Home was the last place to welcome you back, to welcome that idea in, that wild idea. And Lisa, I think this season of limitation applies so much broader to just business and entrepreneurship. For me, I work with people in transformation. Okay, whether you are trying to transform your relationship, your own ability to accept love, your childhood, your inner child, whenever you are stepping into a space and you're saying, I'm going to bring something new into my life, you have to understand that you have to clear out. There is a clearing phase that always has to take place. It's indubitably, whatever the word is, going to happen. There has to be a clearing. And this is what limitation looks like. And for me, like I have had an entire season. I'm talking about summer, fall, multiple seasons. We talk about the crying, the despair. I don't know where this is going to come from. I have let something go. I have let something that was very secure to me go. And I took that leap of faith. I walked out like the fool card in tarot, where he's about to just literally step off of the cliff and all he's got is his knapsack. And the reason I love that card is because he's stepping out on a new adventure, but he left all of his belongings, the things that he was holding on to, he left that go, his bare essentials. Because when you are stepping into newness, you have to be prepared to travel light. So that's a part of the reason that the limitation shows up, is to clear it out. We're alchemists, okay? And the first step in alchemy is the purification. It's the getting rid of all of the impurities, all of the things that are not going to serve you. So when you can look at that season when it shows up and recognize, okay, it's preparing me to travel light, to move into this next phase, then you can position yourself to not become a victim to the limitation. And the reason some of these seasons last so long is because we get stuck in a victim mode. Why is this happening to me? I have such great intentions. I have such a pure desire. I know I put out enough karma out there for the universe to be rewarding me. Why am I experiencing this lack? And when you get stuck in that mind frame, you just prolong in that season.
So well said. Well said. I want to jump in on that because as you shared this, and we talked about this offline, and I'm having that moment where I'm reflecting there because as I shared, and I've shared this before, for those of you who really are paying attention, my creation is born of having lost everything. Housing, car, money, children, a child. That's another show. Lost. And when I finally got to the space of saying, this is why you guys hear me say, I am a conduit, where I'm allowing things, the universe, to flow through me. And I'm completely trusting for all my needs. So yes, when you painted that illustration of that card, I think about the way I traveled. I think about the way I move. One of my colleagues actually had bought me a bag because he said, you walking around here with all these bags like a bag lady, because I had gotten to a space where I was like, I just need my bag. Whatever is in this bag, that's all I needed.
Right.
And it's so amazing to definitely reflect back and say, I am honoring
Lisa?
Professionally, personally, mentally, spiritually, physically. I'm not feeling at my height, even though I feel like I just got started. I'm celebrating that right now because I'm reflecting that, woohoo, I passed. Because I stopped questioning, like you just said, that mindset of why me, woe me. I went through a period where I was so upset when I was going through my separation. I was relieved, but also I got to the place where I said, why do I have to pay 30-something thousand for a car I don't even have?
Right.
I was in that why me, whoa. And then I was like, you know what? I get it. Cause I'm a boss.
Who else gonna do it? So let me ask you something, Lisa, because one of the things that I always hear people say is when these situations come upon you, don't panic. Okay. They always say, don't panic, and they expect you to kind of move through it right? Sure. And I see so many people taking on all this limitation, all this restraint, pushing through, trying not to panic. And I have a theory on that, but I want to know, during your season, was there ever any panic? And be real about it.
Yeah, that was the crying, because I did not know what it looked like. And the crying came from releasing the job security, releasing the downsizing my life, because I mean, everything I was Saturn full on. Everything was coming apart and unraveling. And where I had to learn how to deal with that panic energy, that's when I started to run. Literally, I started to work out. I had to learn how to exert that energy in a different way. Otherwise, guess what? It shows up in my business. It shows up in my relationships.
Right. So the reason that I say the panic is healthy, okay, is because we know that emotions are our guideposts, right? Panic is simply a fight or flight response to show you where fear is still resonating in your body so you can confront it, deal with it, transmute it, pass through it, do whatever you got to do with it, but so that you can process it and turn it into something else. But a lot of times when people choose to ignore the panic, like it's not real, or not face the panic, or say that the panic isn't a healthy emotion, you're doing yourself a complete disservice. Every emotion that you experience is valuable. These are your guideposts. You know, I'm not gonna curse on this show because it's Sunday morning, but I have a saying with my clients is let the BS be your guide. Okay, I use a different word, but let that be your guide, because it's always going to show you where something unhealthy that needs to be let go of is still resonating within your body. So yes. Now, when you're in the midst of it, it's really, really hard to see it as such, because I know when I was down on my knees crying, for me, just speaking personally, I had left the corporate job. Savings was dwindling down at a much faster rate. The sources of income that I thought I had were not showing up according to the timing that I thought they should, okay? And things were getting super, 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 super tight, to the point where I have always been self-sufficient. I have never had to rely on other people to provide anything for me. And I'm sitting here looking at, I'm going to have to ask somebody for something. But let me show you what that panic did. That panic in that moment helped me heal my relationship with my father. It helped me heal issues that I'd had with not feeling supported in this world. It helped me go back into my inner child and heal stuff with my mother. It helped me gain an appreciation for the struggles that she'd had that I hadn't even been able to really conceptualize until that point, because I'd always had it so easy when I wasn't pushing myself to that next edge, to the edge of the cliff. So that panic was so, so useful. Erica says, well, damn, I needed this. Absolutely.
Hey, Erica.
Hey, Erica.
That's amazing, because Ra, I didn't think I shared with you. I mean, you as a client of yours, you know, just kind of where my inner work is coming from. Yes, I had that exact same thing, because I have been self-sufficient for so long. I literally have gotten to a space where now my back was against the wall, and now I had to ask for help. And even working out the words had me in tears. Formulating the words had me in tears. Literally texting had me in tears to formulate the I need the help. Just this. And that's when I really started to get into this, when the wild idea, I'm equating this with the wild idea concept, where your money is, if you can do it alone, it's not big enough.
I wish we had a replay. I wish we had a rewind replay. I need to add this to the comments.
You know,
y'all, I'm running the boards today, so give me some time.
And I'm saying that because it was through my family's and my close friends' support that what you all see that was born through that transition. Because mind you, sister was going through a lot, y'all. I was going through a lot. However, it was through asking for the help. And as cliche as it sounds, right? Ask, knock, seek. That was me living that out. Yeah, that was I totally, not that I forgot, but yes, as we're relating it to that season and reason, that panic, even in relationships, when you find yourself single, you go in panic mode and go, whoa, this is you. What do I do now? You know, and you starting to now process, why am I feeling this? You know, wait, this is what you wanted. You asked for this.
Baby, I lost my man and my money all on the same day. I'm talking about the same day on my birthday. You talk about somebody, woe is me. Why, Lord? Why? You talk about being sent into an immediate panic tailspin, Lisa.
Wow.
That's how it had to happen, though. Looking back on it, if it had happened any other way, if it had been any lesser of a event or of a trauma, I wouldn't have had the motivation to push through and turn something new, make something out of it. The limitation is like it's like a roadmap. It's like a
Absolutely.
roadmap leading you to a new strategy, a new way
Yes,
of doing things.
that's
That's the
exactly
only
right.
reason it shows up.
That's exactly right. As people, so for those who are getting to learn me, you'll see I'm an entrepreneur. I've taken what I do as real estate, right? And unless you are accustomed to getting paid now that the market is in a shift, potentially paid every 60 days, 90 days, usually when things are popping, boom, right? Every 30 days, and you got checks coming. So depending on what your business model is, for me, as I know in preparing my business for long term, what I've been forced to do, seasonal limitation, is I've been forced to take my creativity and write books. Now I'm a paid speaker. I get royalty off books. I'm monetizing my show. These are different streams of income. Why? Because I was forced to, in that limitation, even from a business perspective, and even from me asking myself, what else can I do? What new strategy can I bring to the table? Because this is hella uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We had a viewer on the last show, Nuru, who, when we were talking about, I think there was the show about, we were talking about the love money connection. And she was asking, why has my money dried up? I've been doing all these things. I'm open to love. And one of the things that I told her is that I think you're being pushed to find a new route. And this was before we even started talking about this show, and it kind of birthed this idea. But absolutely, I thought that I was going to make all of my money off of clients and servicing. And then the clients wasn't showing up the way I thought the clients were going to show up.
Right.
And so I had to start to open myself to new possibilities.
Right.
Lisa shows up and says, hey, let's do this course, and let's do this. I did a podcast and a broadcast and a radio show, and writing content and developing a catalog now. Things that I just set out to be a healer. I just wanted to put hands on people and send them out into the world. But that was my destiny, was so far beyond that, so far beyond the limitations of what I could see directly in front of me, that God, my ancestor spirit, had to come in and say, okay, let's pull you back a little bit. Let's let this tide recess, take you out of that comfortable. Okay, because we talked about it. They work in waves. They push you here. You get a good push. You feel good. Oh, I got this. And then the wave has to recess. But that recession is only for you to gain perspective, so that when they push you back out there again, you are even stronger, more equipped. You have a greater vision, a new roadmap to take you to an even greater height. So
I love the ebb and flow, and that's where I am, is loving all of it. Peace, fam.
Peace, Koyo. Peace, love. How you doing? Good to see you here this morning.
Yes. And I'm so happy about that, especially because for you, Ra, I'm Jupiter. So I'm like, boom, I see a whole bunch of stuff with you.
Yeah, you are. You see way more than us normal individuals can see. Us mere humans. She's the planet Jupiter.
Yeah, and even learning that, owning that. I remember someone told me that, and this is that season for limitation. I was playing small, that it had me. I was in tears when somebody said, "You have it, but I wonder if you know it."
Mm.
So for those of
Mm.
you who are listening right now, I want to pose that to you. Ross said this, it's unfair that I can see what the course is. Spiritofbusinesscourse.com, you guys, make sure you sign up. I think, if not, you may want to DM us for a code. I think the code, the 20% off ended Friday. So, but we also are going to do a webinar. So stay tuned to that. But I say that because Ross shares this in her course, in terms of knowing what is the feedback, right? What are you hearing? What you do so wonderfully, and equating that with how you're feeling about it. So I'm excited about what I do, and I'm hearing the feedback. Wow, you're natural. Wow, you're doing that. Wow, you're hearing this. And so if you are hearing this and you are in that space and place right now, I question, do you know that you have it?
Mm. Can you accept that you have it? Because knowing and accepting are two totally different things. Let me tell y'all about an experience I had. I have done a plant medicine ceremony, okay? Beautiful ceremony. And the first time I did this ceremony, I had an experience where I was given an opportunity to see my soul, okay? So these spirits are talking to me. I'm under, I'm out of there. And they said, we want to show you your soul, but we know that this is what you are most afraid of seeing, your own brilliance. And if we show it to you, you're going to run because we've tried to show it to you in regular life and you've run from it before. Okay. And so I, in that moment, had to surrender and say, okay, I'm going to allow you to do this. But in order for me to see that, they had to take me through a death process, Lisa.
Yes.
Like where I've experienced what I feel a physical death would feel like. And I had to go through that process of surrender, where all of those things that I was holding on to, that were my comforts, my little security blankets, I had to let go of. That was how people saw me, because that was contributing to this, okay? That was how I saw myself. That was contributing to the smallness. That was the expectations I had set for myself in relation to what other people expected of me, because that was contributing to the smallness. And I had to let all of that go in that death process. And once I did, and when I was reborn, they showed me the brilliance of my own light. And it was blinding. And they were lying. I was still afraid of it. So to know that you got it, and to be able to accept that you got it, are two different things. And this is what it's all about. And that's what the limitation is showing you. Because when you're in that season of limitation, you start to rely on some other faculties that you didn't even know you had. Okay. It's to carve the brilliance out of you. It's the pressure that builds the diamond.
Pressure bust pipe.
Pressure bust pipes, baby. Don't let it bust your pipes. And Koyo says, absolutely. I need this. I am definitely in a season of limitation. Then she says, I guess we spoke some truth in there. And Koyo, let's talk about it, love. She wants to know how to let go.
How to let go for our radio podcast listeners. Oh my goodness, how to let go. I'm gonna let Rod take this. This is all her. This is all her space.
Okay, how to let go. So, and Koyo, and to the listeners, one of the things, and I'm going to give you some wisdom that came from a wise teacher. I don't know how many are familiar with Sister Myra, but she is a metaphysical teacher, an elder in this space. And when I was starting on this journey, one of our friends got me on the phone with her, and she had a very personal conversation with me. And I told her where I was in my journey, that I'm just starting out, but it's hard. I'm like, it's hard. And she like, baby, guess what? You are being shown how to trust in the universal mother. Okay. So we all have been conditioned to have an understanding that God is the Father God. And that is all true and well. But there is a whole duality to God. There's a divine feminine, divine mother energy of God that creates. That's the creator in the unseen, okay? That we are disconnected from. And so she told me that this whole process that I was going through was to bring me to that point of surrender so that I could connect with the Divine Mother, learn how to trust in all of what the universe has in store for me. Okay. And so in Koyo, when you want to know how to let go, it's simply a choice. Okay. It's a choice to not fight, to not hold on, and to surrender. It's literally like being thrown in the swimming pool and saying, or being thrown in the river and saying, I'm not going to fight the current. Okay. I'm going to relax and I'm going to float on my back and see where it takes me. And I know that's extremely hard, but it literally is a choice because your mind has one job. Okay. Your mind's one job is to keep you alive. Okay. Mm-hmm. So anytime you encounter something that before has resulted in a negative emotion or a fear is resulting in some kind of a threat for you, your mind is telling you from that, don't do it, hold on to what feels safe. But your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and what you imagine. And it only works on what's a choice. And so if you condition your mind and you say, I choose to release my attachment to this. I choose to surrender because it's going to give me this. It's going to result in a benefit. You have to have this conversation that it's a choice that is going to result in a clear benefit and a clear win. And you say it over and over and over and over again until you trick your mind into believing it. And sometimes that resistance is trapped in our body. So I do things like tapping. And, maybe I can come on and do some exercises, but I literally do tapping exercises where I'm going the points. I choose to release my attachment to only surviving. I choose to accept a Thrive lifestyle. I choose to accept the money that's flowing to me. And I'm tapping it. I'm literally, and for those who can't see, I'm literally tapping it in these points out of my body. It's called EFT. It's a scientifically proven technique.
Right.
But you have to condition your mind that it is okay to surrender. If that makes sense. Okay.
I reintroduce you to Rabe, human coder, founder of Trill Alchemy.
Boom. And Koyo says, choice. I've been thrown in a pool before and forced to swim. I know how that feels. So relax and go with the flow. Relax and go with the flow in Koyo and let yourself know that and tell yourself that this choice is a safe choice. Okay.
Mm-hmm. As you were saying that, what brought up as the synergy in that, because I loved it. I love what Rob brings, because what that brings to light is the other aspect of how you deal, how you respond versus react to when other people are winning around you while you're in your season of limitation. The reason why that's important to pay attention to your response versus your reaction is because this is a gem. Replay, listeners, hashtag replay right here. There's this real thing called synergy, and the subconscious mind, as Ross shared, does not know the difference between fiction and reality. So when you are observing someone else's win, instead what is happening, watch this, you are actually at that level of winning because you are observing it. So you are in fact winning. When you can manifest and see someone experience a win, it's not, man, oh, me, woe is, no, it's celebrate that, because that means your mind has equated you with the win.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like vibration, like frequency.
Let me tell y'all something. Do you not know how I love being in Lisa's energy, in her realm of influence, and how when I attracted a friendship and a working relationship with Lisa, I was like, hell Pat myself in the back because I knew that somewhere I had leveled up my own vibration and that she was a reflection of that. She was the universe saying, you did that. Yes. Yes. Now you deserve this level of camaraderie. You deserve this level of influence. Celebrate those around you winning. Celebration is something that is so overlooked. And you are in a season of limitation, okay? You have to be able to celebrate the small wins. I don't care if it's, woo, I just made enough money to go buy some groceries for the week. Man, I'm a bad sister. I did that. You better celebrate. Nicoyo say celebrate that. Absolutely. We don't do enough celebration. And the reason we talked about that heart chakra energy last broadcast, when you celebrate, you are elevating your energy into this heart space, which we all talked about is a much higher frequency and a much more effective attractor, okay, for manifestation.
50 times the electromagnetic magnetic waves from the heart is that much more stronger than the brain. Brain, as Ross said, survival, survive. Heart, creation. Thrive life.
Thrive life. Absolutely. Oh man, I love this. And not only does it help you attract more, okay, y'all know I deal with all forms of spirit. Your ancestors, and you know, this might not appeal to everybody in the audience, it might not resonate, but for those that it does, your ancestors and that spiritual team that you have working on your behalf, they want you to recognize the wins as well. You are celebrating on their behalf for all of the things that they have done to create this path for you to get there.
Yes.
You're not just doing it for yourself.
Listen, you're not doing this for yourself, which is why I say this on my other platforms. You came here with a gift and you owe it to the world. I say that as serious than a mofo. You came here with a gift and you owe it to the world. Yes, I'm yelling. Okay, I'm gonna calm down.
That's okay. That's okay. Sometimes it's a preacher on the pulpit yelling somewhere right now. Tina says, whoa, she just got that piece yesterday. And Tina says that this blood moon bring breakthroughs. And absolutely, Tina and Erica, this right now, this week, is definitely, we've got, you know, not to get heavy into astrology, but we've got a new moon, we've got eclipse that's coming in Scroll. And when I tell you that it has been unearthing and uncovering things that don't need to be there in the spirit of transformation, it's been doing this job on me. Okay, I don't know about y'all, but definitely on me. So
I'm not an exception to the universal energies. We just gotta like chess, not checkers, y'all. That's what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Okay, so yeah, I love that we talked about the celebration aspect, and with that goes gratitude. So I think it's very important for you, if you want to know how to work through this, because let me tell you, in my season of limitation, what it looked like was every morning waking up like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have to face these problems again. Like the problems from yesterday are still here. And I used to dread the sunlight. I'm the sun. I used to dread when the sun came up in the morning because it meant that I was going to have to face these limitations again. But I had to start changing my mental routine. And before I would even open my eyes in the morning, I would have a list in my head. I would come to 10 things that I'm grateful for before I could even see them. Before I would even open my eyes, in my heart, I'm feeling the gratitude. You know what? I'm still here. You know what? My son is healthy. You know what? I got this big, beautiful bed that I'm lying in, even if I'm alone in it right now.
Yes.
I'm in comfort. You know what? I got, my mind is sound, so I have something to work with to figure these problems out. So you have to start your day with gratitude. First thought of the day.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that Tina says, I am the gift, y'all. If you have not said this yet this morning, wherever you are, and when you're listening to the replay, please take a moment, and we're going to do this for about 3 seconds, and we'll say this in our minds, because you know the God inside of you is listening. And not only that, but your cells are listening. Your cells are listening. So let's do this on the count of 3, and we're just going to hold that thought as we say, I am the gift. And on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
That put a smile on my face. I don't know about y'all, but thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Zen Master.
Yes.
Tina says, you ladies are beautiful. Thank you, Tina. Thank you for listening in and being supportive. And Koyo says, yes, Ra, yes. And Honeybee Wells says, start your day with gratitude. I love that. I love it too. Yeah. And the universe is going to love and appreciate you doing so, honey.
Absolutely. And that's the slow motion of, like I said, I rolled out of bed. So that was me kind of checking myself, putting myself back into alignment and being in that space. Rod knows that I get super excited to come on and do this. I roll. I'm like, I jump out of bed. I come to the office, regardless of what you see happening here. We are in the middle of a remodel. I'm like, I'm showing up. Woohoo! It's time for the Spirit of Business course. Why? Because you know what? With doing this in my I Am the Gift, guess what? My opportunities have increased. That flow of abundance is coming because I am truly, it's not just about me. This is about how can we all win? And this is why and that's another thing when I talk about synergy, you notice, Rob, that it's usually different unless those people who actually put us on a reminder that we're going to come on 10 o'clock Pacific time, 12 Central, 11, 12 Central, unless they have that reminder and they're tapped into that elevation, that synergy, where you are priming yourself, right? You're conditioning yourself for this is what I want in my life. I want more of this in my life. Why? The subconscious mind does not know the difference between fiction and reality. So you are reprogramming what you want more of. You want more peace. You want more love. You want more money. You want more creativity. What do you want more of? And it's not just surround yourself by it, but one thing, at least we give a one call to action every time we do this. There's always one call to action that we do. Because it's not just on here, I love the community that we're creating from this. In addition to that, it's what in application can we gift you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what's the call this week, Lisa?
Call to action. Sign up for the Spirit of Business course.
First things first.
First things first. The order of the day, right? spiritofbusinesscourse.com. I am following Ra's lead on the webinar schedule. So she and I will, I think maybe it might do a Friday or Saturday before we do Sunday. Again, the course is launching February. Do sign up. And the call to action this week in terms of the season of limitation, if you are in that, and you may be it in a different aspect of your life, could be spiritually, could be emotionally, could be physically, especially as people, again, we talked about know the difference between your natal chart and the fiscal chart, where you operating. So determine where your ebb and flow is, and then reflect on and ask yourself, what is my limitation? What am I to learn from this lesson? Because that is where you want to transmute that.
Absolutely. And to add to that, when you figure out even if you can't figure out what it's showing you, show gratitude and feel some level of gratitude for the season. I made a post the other day that nature doesn't stop having winter just because people don't cold. The season, the winter season has a purpose because the old has to die off in order for things to be reborn in the spring. But if you spend all winter talking about how much you hate the cold and how you don't like the snow and how this just ain't fair, then you're not even getting your seedlings ready for the spring. You're missing a prime opportunity. Okay? So love the winter because it's necessary.
I'm a winter baby too, so.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, I'm a winter baby. All right, y'all, that's our time. Unless Ra wants to drop any added gems. I think there was a lot said today, especially if you have been in that moment of crying. And guess what? You woke up. You still got to do what you have to do. And we're here for that. We are here for that. We will see you on the other side next week on the Spirit of Business course. Make sure you connect with us at Trill Alchemy, Facebook and Instagram with Ra. I'm at LA Super Agent on all social media. I love you. I love you.
Love you.
We are out.
Peace.